We are trying our very best to build one of Australia's toughest and cleanest GQ patrols. And one of the most exciting parts of any build, I personally think, is Barwork. We're down in Victoria. We've recently wrapped the car. We've got the drawers fitted up, as you would have seen in the last episode. And now the fun stuff can begin. We've come to the experts, EliteWeld, to wrap this thing in some of the sickest barwork I've ever seen for a GQ patrol. These guys know what they're doing. I cannot wait to get this process started. We've got a lot of work to do. Roll the intro. When it comes to GQ barwork, EliteWeld have a couple of different variations for just about every sort of Nissan. GQ 4 doors, the shorties, the utes, etc. And a couple of different styles of front bar sliders, rear bar, etc. to suit whatever flavor you're going for. But let's run you through what we've chosen for the front of this thing. We are going the EliteWeld Alpha Bar. I think it is absolutely the best GQ bull bar on the market available. It is tough, it is protective, it is ready for a high mount winch. It is just absolutely epic. We're then going to partner that with a set of front scrubbies going down into some EliteWeld sliders, really protect the front of this wagon. We've got a secret weapon as well that we're going to be installing just before the barwork goes on. It's in the back of the 79 just off camera. You're going to have to hang around till later to find out exactly what that is, but I'm super keen. Let's jump up the back. We'll run you through what we're doing there. Up the back, we've gone with the EliteWeld Extreme Touring Rear Bar. It is strong, it is aggressive, it is high clearance. It's gonna make perfect use of our quarter chop that Corey Richo did for us. But before we can dive into that and show you guys exactly how we're setting up the rear bar, we've got a couple of things to do. First, we're gonna take this silver step off, tidy up the chassis a little bit, tidy up the tow bar a little bit, and deal with this gas filler. Not sure how that's gonna go, but we're gonna wing it and hope for the best. Plus, we also have to head down to the fab shed and build the barwork. Because right now, nothing is gonna get bolted onto this car unless we pull our finger out. So, I reckon step one, we'll head down, we'll see Marty, we'll get this thing happening. Alrighty, so we've got our rear bar here for the GQ on the jig down here in the EliteWeld shed. And it's all coming together pretty quickly. That's the beautiful thing about these jigs, is that you can replicate the perfect fitting bar every single time. Now, at this point, it's basically just massive scale men's Lego, and it should come together relatively fast. The next step is the core drill is gonna run some holes through that tube so we can weld in the stub axles. I reckon I should clear out of his way. Now, Marty's in the thick of the rear bar at the moment. We thought we'd quickly stop him just for a chat. Now, how long have you been doing bar work before we dive into the features of this thing?
Around about 6 years we've been operating now.
Very cool. Pumping out some of the wildest looking bar work for GQs and GUs, might I add. And I mean, the orders you've got speak for themselves. You've got heaps of bars out there and heaps to come. Very popular gear. Now, this rear bar is extremely well thought out, really tough in its design, really just functional as well, which is rare to have function and form all rolled into one and have the end result looking as good as it is. I want to quickly talk to you about it. Let's start off with a massive piece of tube that makes up the base of the bar.
So it's 60.3. So, you know, not like your general 40 NB stuff that people use. We go straight to the 50 NB so you can, you know, make the back of the car look nice and fat and strength as well.
No, I like it. It looks sick, and I guess that's the big thing, right? Strength. You want to be able to have a lot of faith in when you're slamming your ass into things off-road that it's not going to bend.
Do that, but
yeah. Sometimes it's unavoidable. I like that you've used massive 16mm plate to bolt this thing straight to the chassis, and therefore you can recover straight off these points, hey?
Yep, 2 massive D-shackles can dangle off the back all you like, and they're ready to go each time you have to do a recovery. Straight off the back of the chassis rails, pulling in line with the rail, not sideways. Yeah. That way, you mount it up there with M14 bolts, so nice and strong.
Heaps of strength, love that. Then on the side, it's not just that single piece of tube, you've got this as well, which I love. So that is going to be protecting the booty of the vehicle when you're slamming it into rocks sideways, which is a sick little feature too. Do you find a lot of people go with that and then obviously go a rear scrubby too, or is this how you sell most of your bars?
Majority of the bars are just the basic rear bar with the side wing protection.
Yeah.
And we do sell a fair few rear scrub bar versions as well, but not quite as common.
We're going to stop there because we don't want to spoil it before you guys see the finished result. We're going to take it off to powder coating, get it back, and then we can start assembling the car. Okay, we're back from the powder coaters. They have done their job phenomenally. This is all looking absolutely epic. We've gone for not a full gloss, it's a bit more of a satin finish, which I think is going to play off well against the gloss black wrap on the GQ. Marty's done a fantastic job. All this gear is not only really strong looking, but really aggressive looking. I cannot wait to get it fitted up. Speaking of fitting up, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to kick things off with the rear bar. That's how we've got the GQ set up and what we've been working towards. Then we're going to do the sliders. And the final piece of the puzzle will be the bull bar with that secret weapon. You're going to have to hang around to the end to find out exactly what I'm talking about. Let's bloody do it. Yeah, that's right. A bit of extra gas. So things escalated as they do pretty quickly here. We wanted to tidy the back of this thing up for installation's sake, but also just to make our life a little easier. Now, I've said it before when we revealed this car, it was on dual fuel, which meant it had a big gas tank in the back and the gas filler through the chassis. Now, it's a shame to see like some LPG places, obviously back in the day, were just cowboys because that is such a rough installation. But anyway, we're going to die grind it up, wire wheel it all, make it nice and give this thing the life that it deserves, because that's pretty rough and pretty sad to see. So we're going to clean all that up. Obviously this thing is going to be getting an engine swap, and that engine swap does not involve gas. So the gas tank would come out. It was all pretty basic and whatnot. It was just a matter of a couple of bolts. And we got rid of that tow bar too, because chances are this thing is not going to be doing any towing. And if it does, we're just going to get a new tow bar because that one was absolutely rooted. Last sort of piece of the puzzle is basically going to be get that little splash guard off out of there, whack that disgusting exhaust off. We should be ready to rock. How exciting. Oh, also, how good do those tail lights look? Now, whilst this looks like a little bit of a sombrero, it is actually a really cool part of the joiner system that EliteWeld have come up with for joining their scrubbies to not just their own bull bars, but any bull bar you guys might have. So this guy right here is instead of using something like a roll bar joiner, and it's for a couple of reasons. For starters, this is incredibly strong. It's their own in-house machined up piece of billet, which obviously bolts into the end of your scrubby. That hugs the bar of your bull bar, and then this goes through the bull bar. What that means is not only is it super strong, but because 99% of the bars that EliteWeld sell are customer DIY installation, they find that this is a lot easier for the customer at the other end to actually install the product to their vehicle, as opposed to roll bar joiners, which are a bit of a piss take. The other cool thing about this is, unlike roll bar joiners, you don't need to weld anything to your existing barwork in order to use these. Plus, you can also use these on any bull bar. You just have to drill the hole for this. That goes into the EliteWeld scrubbies, and you can actually use a bull bar that you might already have on the vehicle. The other cool thing that they've used is this billet crush tube as well. So as it goes through the hoop of the bull bar, as you do it up tight, it's not going to crush that tube. It's going to keep its shape. Really cool. These are also available separately on their website. So if you like the look of this, make sure you check it out. Well, it's been a couple of massive days here with Marty at EliteWeld, and I think the end result speaks for itself. When it comes to Nissan Patrol barwork that bolts onto vehicles, there is none tougher or better looking than the stuff coming out of these sheds here at EliteWeld HQ. The rear bar is their extreme touring spec rear bar. It's strong, it's sleek, it's elegant, it's aggressive. We've opted for a swing arm for the spare tire and also a double jerry can holder. It's got integrated tail lights, integrated number plate lights, a mount for the number plate. The whole thing just looks so freaking phenomenal. And there's a couple of little design features in there that we might have glossed over that I'm going to run you through now. You can see those sort of side impact hoops are actually slash cut to match the profile of the flare, sort of helping it just look factory and really, really tidy. The way this bar bolts up to the chassis through a couple of 16mm plates, which is intentional. It means you can recover directly off the bar and you know you're going to have the strength there when you need it. Which also means we could do away with the tow bar and just have a really high clearance, really sleek looking rear bar. If you come around to the sliders, we have gone for a full length slider. I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. It's worth mentioning that you can option these up with a rear scrubby if you like, but for this car, we're trying to save a little bit of weight where we can. It's not going to be doing the really extreme stuff, so I think we've gone with a perfect compromise. The sliders are awesome. They're aggressive, they're angled up, but there's still enough purchase there for it to be a step. As you come up into the integrated front scrubbies, you'll notice that even the radius of the scrub rail matches perfectly with the flare of the car, and the top of the scrubby is a perfectly parallel to the body line that runs the length of these GQs, which again, just makes them look so nice, aesthetic, almost factory and seamless looking. Then we come to the front of this car. My favorite part, the EliteWeld Alpha bull bar. This has got to be the best, I reckon, bull bar for GQ Patrols on the market. It is big, aggressive, staunch, and most importantly, practical. You've got aerial tabs up the front, 6mm plate underneath to give it that strength. It is high mount compatible, which is our secret weapon. We've got that massive Warn 8274 high mount winch in there. It's basically a standard winch at the moment, other than a Ballsy Bits free spool delete. But hopefully when we have a little bit of spare cash and a little bit of time, we can pull that winch out and send it to one of the guys down here in Victoria and get it built, make it a little bit more spicy. Overall, everything about this front bar is so freaking hot. It hugs the body as tight as possible. It's aggressive, it covers the front. There's legality kept in mind. It sort of meets everything that you need for ADRs. It's got integrated parkers, integrated indicators, and most importantly, ties the whole thing together to look so utterly gorgeous. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode, finding out exactly what we had lined up for this GQ and how quickly it's coming together, working with some brand new brands, some market leaders, and a whole bunch of Australian manufactured gear. I think it was a really exciting way to get this GQ build off the ground. If you're interested in any bar work for yourself, make sure you hit up the team here at EliteWeld because they are doing God's work. And as always, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, share this video around. We'll see you next Thursday for more GQ spiciness.